Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and today we're coming back with another Switch video, and this time it's going to be probably one of the most unique Switches that I've had on this channel. Now we have to thank Kailh because they sent me out their newest, most interesting 2-in-1 Switch. What does that mean? It's a linear switch and a clicky switch built into one. I'm actually really curious how this works, as well as how it will sound, because you're going to have a linear version and then you're going to have a clicky, and I want to see how does it affect the Switch at all in either way. So we're going to have to do a sound test with both of them and see how does it sound with the linear as well as the clicky, and then see what the Switch is like. But please make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into this. Now introducing to you the Kailh Mix-7. Now this is a interesting Switch. It's actually a linear and clicky all in one. And right now there's no price range because the Switch actually hasn't fully released yet. But I can give you the other information that's available and do a sound test. Now we're going to measure the travel of the Switch, but one thing I want to note though is that the Evo sound did not work out well. One of the things that I'm thinking is that the PP plate as well as all of the foam kind of caused it to not be able to bottom out correctly, and that was with the Evo 75. Now in terms of the treble, so we're starting off at 17.3, going all the way down to 13.9. that comes out to about 3.4 millimeters of travel. Now they say it's supposed to be around 3.6, but it says that it could be plus minus 0.4 millimeters. So that's kind of a lot of actual room that it could be incorrect. Now, as you can see here, that is the switch that can change it from clicky to linear. Now, as you can hear there, it actually changes really heavily. It goes from a linear switch completely to a clicky switch, which I found incredibly interesting. I haven't actually tried one. I did hear that there was one before that did clicky, linear, and tactile. I believe it was a Zeal switch. And I've never gotten to try it, so this one was the first time trying a switch that could do different ones. Now it does have a light diffuser, so as you can see in the bottom housing, and it has that little cover over there where the springs would be, and it has an interesting single stage spring, which is very, very thin. It's a very thin spring that I'm kind of surprised about, because usually springs that I've tried are a little bit bigger. Now one thing you'll see there is that is the switch that gets moved. It's quite interesting. Like when you move it over left and right, like you'll see how it can change, and it's supposed to hook onto the actual spring inside, which makes movements in the bottom of the house. So right there where the light diffuser is going to be, it actually has a bit of some kind of movement, and there's a little piece there that also moves a spring. It's very interesting of how this whole mechanism works, and I'm kind of curious why other companies haven't really done this before, and is this something that could actually continuously work in the future, say having a linear and tactile switch all at the same time, and even more things. Now I'm curious in terms of like how the mechanism works. I can't really like tell or actually figure out completely what is making everything happen, but I do see here that there's a spring there, which I'm seeing it get moved, and then it stops and sticks in place. So I'm thinking that is going to be where the clicky movement is going to be. Now, of course, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not an engineer, but that is just what my assumptions is coming to. Now, in terms of the spring, it is quite a short spring, actually. It's about 19 millimeters and it's a single stage, and as I mentioned, very thin. I kind of would have hoped that this was a little bit longer. In general, with the switch, the travel feels kind of short. That's what I felt. And in terms of the stem itself, it's very interestingly shaped. As you'll see here, I actually didn't hand loop any of these for one reason only, is that it's very difficult to open and then put back together. If you open it and you try to put it back and don't do it correctly, which is very difficult to do, to put it back correctly, is it'll be stuck in clicky mode and you're not able to use linear mode at all. And it's very, very barely lubed. Like you don't see much lube going on this stem at all, but it's still quite smooth. Like the linear side was decently smooth, and it was very interesting overall. Like I thought possibly the clicky side could affect the linears, and it didn't when you hear the sound test, except for the Evo 75, which was the only one that I was very surprised of how that happened. And over here, you'll see on the top housing as well, there's a little switch, so it connects together and it's supposed to be able to move the different ports, even on the bottom housing, to be able to change from linear to the clicky. So time to do a decibel test, just so you guys get an idea how loud these actually are. So you're going to be looking at around 65 to 67 decibel. That's where I was averaging around, even though it's very interesting to see with like specifically the Evo 75 because the alphas weren't really making any noise, but the Space Pro was incredibly loud. It was very, very loud. And even at other boards, we were looking at averaging around this decibel. So 65 to 67, you can kind of consider it as, you know, more than 3 or 4 people having a conversation around you, and that loudness that's going to be happening. So you can keep that in mind for both the clicky as well as the linear version. Now, as you can see here, the right is going to be the linear and the left is going to be the clicky. So I want to show you guys kind of how the actuations work. So the clicky side, you can see there right at the top, you get that click. It's like a tactile hit. While the linear side is very, very light, there is almost no actuation bump or like heavy feel at all, and it just goes down, while the clicky does have the stop point where you get that click in between. So definitely very two different feels with one single switch. Very cool, and kind of not great for the linear side. I don't like it being too light. Now, top side, you do get a little bit of rattle, but then in terms of stem wobble on the bottom, because of the way the stem is, it's circular, you don't get any stem wobble at all. It's quite nice. And then the terms of the backlighting. So backlighting wise, it's not going to be the brightest switch. I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's quite dark. Even though it has a light diffuser, I thought it could be brighter, but unfortunately it's not the brightest. It is kind of accurate, but it isn't very bright. Now in terms of the spreadsheet, so you can access the spreadsheet on my Discord channel. There's going to be a link in the description. You can go in and be able to check out this whole spreadsheet for yourselves if you're looking for a switch and want to see where something's holding. Overall, the clicky is going to be slightly higher pitched. That's due to the click itself. And overall, it will be more of a deep towards medium clicky sound. Overall, I hope this video helps you guys to see whether or not the switch is going to be one for you. It's a very interesting switch and I really enjoyed it. Now, there's a key thing. Kailh actually asked me whether or not what kind of affiliate discount thing I would like. I actually went with the route of getting 0 commission for the switch. So if you go onto Kailh's website directly to purchase the switch from them, you can actually save 12% using the code Mikey. I will not receive any commissions for it, but the idea is I wanted to get you guys as big of a discount as possible. So Kailh was kind enough to increase the original discount code, which is 7%, all the way to 12% because I wasn't taking any commission. So use the code Mikey to save as much money possible if you guys are interested in this switch. I'll have the links in the description with the coupon code for you, but please go check out the other videos I got.